Hey, Sean here from speedcubeview.com. I want to talk about something a little bit different today, and I want to talk about mindfulness. I've been extremely reluctant to talk about this because I don't like the term mindfulness. So a quick understanding of what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is being mindful of what you're doing. You're at your current moment, your body movements, your breathing. The most common thing that people trace it to is Buddhism with meditation. Mindful meditation, you're focusing on your breath, the feeling of your breath going in, the feeling of your breath going out, mindful of all your muscle movements, and actually mindful of your thoughts. Mindful meditation doesn't have to be not thinking of anything. It's accepting the thoughts that come in and letting them pass through. The reason I'm reluctant in talking about it is because it is used in the science medical field. It is used for scientific studies, but it's still a very vague term. True story. When I was doing my research for my graduate studies, I was doing a project on memorization techniques. And two students in my class, I think there was only like 20 in this group, but two of them did a paper on mindfulness. And I was in class and asked a question to one of the students saying, what is the scientific definition of mindfulness? And I got kind of a definition like I just described, which doesn't sound something super scientific. So I've been very reluctant to talk about it in a scientific sense, but just know that it is something that can be very helpful. And I'm going to relate it in a Rubik's Cube way, because that's, of course, what we're talking about on this channel. Not only do I see a lot of cubers get frustrated with cubing and quit, I have known at least one person off the top of my head who quit cubing because of stress, because of frustration, because they felt like they weren't going any further with it. And that focus on cubing being just moving to the next step and trying to beat your next time will get more and more frustrating as you go along. The faster time you get, the harder it's going to be to break that time. I see people constantly asking, what's the hardest barrier to break? Well, it's whatever the next one you're doing. When I practice, almost all the time it's just mindful practice. So I'm going to show some clips of some practicing. If I'm doing CFOP, I'm specifically focusing on smooth movements, preventing pauses, and just going at a speed that I can think of every individual muscle movement of my fingers and think about what is going on at the moment. So even during a T permutation, I'm thinking about each movement in that T permutation and not just letting my muscle memory kick in. There's a pretty famous video that has gotten more famous because of Adam Neely showing it, of a golfer named Ben Hogan who would practice slow motion golfing. And I can show you a clip right here where this video is not in slow motion, but Ben Hogan is focusing on every individual muscle movement so that when it goes to a tournament, he has honed in each of those individual muscles and is not tensing up through all those movements, trying to move really fast. And this isn't just cubing. If you're sitting down, sitting in a way where you can be mindful of your posture, sitting up, not slouching over. I realized just a second ago I was kind of doing this to talk into the mic, which I'm going to adjust the mic so I can be a little more mindful of my body as I sit. If I'm solving with a Roux, I'm being really mindful of the number of turns I do. I'll try to actually focus more on fewer moves, but still go at a pace that I can try to limit those movements. And I'll even do ZZ, focusing on fluidity, because you don't have to do those rotations and everything can flow really well for those first couple layers. And I'll often just jump around to whatever kind of solve fits. I'm not focusing on trying to get the fastest time. That's not going to be really helpful, honestly, in practice. What you want to focus on is your muscle movements, being mindful of it, not tensing up. Watching some top solvers in slow motion, you can see that they have a lot of control over individual muscles, individual fingers, and it doesn't look super tense. But if you watch people who are not as experienced trying to turn fast, it looks super tense. If you are not as experienced, try just executing a T permutation as fast as you can, and you'll notice you start to tense up. We don't want to do that. So you practice going slow and being mindful of every individual muscle in your fingers. So why is this important? It's not just to practice to get faster. That's kind of opposite of the point. What we're trying to accomplish is just enjoying solving. I really enjoy cubing. I enjoy the meditative nature of it. It's something I can go to when I need a break. And it's something that I don't care what my times are. I know that my times will get faster the more I do it because that's just how practice works. You don't need to focus on getting faster to get faster. You really just need to practice. And if you're mindful in it, not only will you improve, but you will enjoy that practice at the same time. I see far too many people practicing just to try to break their record, and they get frustrated because they're not breaking a certain time. But you're still improving. You're still developing those muscles. And that, I think, is what gets lost with a lot of cubing practice. This goes for instrument practice if you're a musician, and this goes for any sport or other hobby. It's the same thing. Being mindful of your practicing to enjoy it. And you will improve, whether you know it or not. So a couple tips for practicing. First off, don't worry about your times. And better yet, hide your times if you can. Try to not notice them. I at least have my timer where it's turned off during the counting portion, and I try to not notice it. Sometimes I will block it out of my screen. The next one is have a goal in mind for your movements. If your solves are 10 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, don't try to beat those times. It won't happen overnight anyways, so focus on your movements. Focus on the turning speed. Focus on seeing how your hand can move and maybe not re-grip, but just turn in a nice fluid way. I know overnight I'm not going to be as fast as Felix. And I know that I might never be as fast as Felix. Likely will never be as fast as Felix, let's be honest here. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy solving, and that doesn't mean I can't still improve. After I'm recording this, I'm just going to do an average of 12, not edit it or anything, and just show that at the end. I'll put some music. Often when I practice, I'll put on some headphones. Where are my headphones? Often when I practice, I will put on these noise-canceling headphones and put on rain sounds or something else that I can just unfocus to other sounds around me. Sometimes I will put on music, usually not music that will draw my attention away from whatever is going on. And if it is something I enjoy, well, that just adds to the joy of solving. Even if it takes some focus away from the cube, I'm still focusing on something and being mindful of what's going on. So I challenge all of you to do this. Next time you do an average, whether it's 12 or 100, hide your times. Don't worry about your times. Don't worry if you get a really good scramble or not. Just focus on solving and enjoying that and being mindful of what your fingers are doing. I guarantee if you spend 100 solves focusing on what your fingers are doing, your execution will be much better by the end of that because you're not trying to tense up and go as fast as you can. It will get faster in time, which is why you don't need to worry about it now. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.